Hi, and welcome back to Computer Applications. We are finishing up our ideas on MLA reports. We have already got our setup for the MLA report. We have already done our header, which is last name and inserted a page number. We have also done our heading. And that heading is teacher names, student name, teacher name, class and date. We've done our title. Centered our title. We haven't done anything different to our title. Didn't make it bigger, didn't change the font, didn't bold it, didn't make it look pretty. It's the same 12-point font, Times New Roman as everything else. We've done the body of our report. So again, our paragraphs are indented with a tab. There's no extra return marks between paragraphs. And be consistent with your spacing. Your English staff have informed me that one space at the end of a sentence is fine. Back in my day, I'm old enough to say the common way of writing papers was 2 spaces. If we ever use a program called microtype, that's the way that's set up. So it's blah, 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 period, space, space, then capital letter for the second sentence. If you want to go with 1, matching up with what your English teachers are looking for, that's 100% fine. Just be consistent all the way through your document. If we look at our document, again, here is the body of our report. You're not seeing, extra spaces here between paragraphs. These would be marked wrong if you're turning a paper in like this. Commonly, for whatever reason, I see one between the heading and the title, and sometimes between the title and the first paragraph. Okay, these extra spaces are not needed. Again, consistency all the way through. 12-point fonts, and in this case, I'm using Times New Roman. Again, notice that it changed to Clement 2 on the second page. How to finish up. If there are some ideas that are not yours, okay, it doesn't mean you cannot use them, but you got to give credit to whoever thought those ideas up. So you need to create either a bibliography or a works cited. So we need to give credit to the person who thought up the idea if it's not yours. We'll have a separate video on how to use Noodle tools and put those placeholders in the document. We're going to show you what the end product looks like here to finish up MLA reports. So we will use an option to create the works cited. Once you have that information squared away, you're going to insert your works cited on a new page. Notice here I already have the page break. I went to Insert, Tab. I went left-hand side where it says Page Break. And it then added a page break for me. And I had a placeholder in the wrong place, so it looks like it put it where I didn't want it. Simply just hit Undo. So there's page 1, there's page 2, and I'm getting down to page 3. Here's my works cited. Some things to notice on the works cited. The term works cited is centered. It, again, is the same 12-point font and the same style, in my case, Times New Roman, as the whole document. The people who created the idea originally are given their credit here. One is Rochelle Olson, the other is Kristen Painter. And again, this isn't going to match up with the history of Dan Gable. That's not really the point. We're just showing you how does this supposed to look. The works cited is, again, 1-inch margin, starting here on the left-hand side, and it's used what's called a hanging indent. If I highlight these and I go to a paragraph, here is where my special type of spacing is indentation. If I click my drop down, it's called a hanging indent. If for some reason it's not done right. Sometimes you'll do everything you think is right, and you'll put the works cited in, and maybe it'll be, moved over here into that 1-inch margin where it's not supposed to be. Maybe it is, not put in with a hanging indent. Looks like this, everything on the left-hand side. Again, this is your responsibility before you turn it in to look these things over. So make sure that it has a hanging indent. Again, paragraph, special, make sure it has a hanging indent. What it means is everything starts on the left edge and then it kicks in the second, third, and fourth line in 1/2 inch, right? Kind of looks like the opposite of your paragraphs. Paragraphs are first thing indented 1/2 inch, everything else on the left side. Noodle tool should do this for you, but if it does not, you're still responsible to make the cleanup if need be. Some kind of common things you're going to want to do before you turn a document in. Personally, again, once I've done this, I've done a file, save as, and I put it somewhere. I've browsed and I found my Google Drive, and I've put this somewhere in some kind of an organized system. We'll have a different video that talks about file maintenance and how you create a folder system. It's almost like an electronic file cabinet on how and where you're going to keep your stuff. Whether it be dates, whether it be title of the report, whatever it is, whether it be the class, how are you going to come up with a system where you can go back and find this document if you need it down the road? Okay. You'll notice that it will have gone from document 1 Word to whatever you've called it. Next thing I would do a file and a print. And I'm not really going to print it. I'm going to do what's a print preview. As I look here, it shows you what my document's supposed to look like. Okay, I got 1-inch margins on the right, left, and bottom and top. I got my Clement with the page number in the header. It looks the same size as the font size here. Okay, everything left aligned, 12-point font, 00 double space. My title is centered, 12-point font, nothing different, not bolded, not underlined, not made bigger. I don't see any extra return marks between my paragraphs. I can either use my mouse and scroll down to page 2, or I can change it down here, go from page 1 to page 2. Again, I have a page break, bringing my works cited here to the next page. It says Clement 3. Check all this out before you turn it in, whether that be turning it into a Schoology page, whether that actually physically is printing your document. Check these things out before you turn it in. Okay? So this was Microsoft Word version of MLA reports.